Welcome back to No Sticks, No Bricks. Can you believe we've been in our new home for a month already?
It's crazy, a month?
It went by quick.
Yeah, it did.
In this video, we're going to talk about whether we have any buyer's remorse, regrets. We're going to talk about some of the challenges we face switching from a fifth wheel to a Class A motorhome. We're just kind of going to go over all the little things about what we expected and what we got, what we didn't expect and what we got. But we're here at Goose Creek State Park. It's right outside of Washington, North Carolina. And we're gonna do a little hike while we talk about this. And this is a beautiful little park. It's kind of cool. We were just in the visitor center and they got a bunch of animals that were, but done by taxidermy. Then,
oh yeah.
And they're all decorated in Halloween decorations because, I mean, it is mid-October already. So Halloween is coming up and they did a pretty good job decorating. This is a nice state park.
Yeah, so far so good.
And really close to Twin Lakes RV Park, which is an encore park in our 1,000 Trails package, to the park, so it's pretty close. It was only, what, 20 minutes away maybe?
Yeah, very close.
All right, so let's get this video going. Let's give you a little foundation first, especially those of you that are new to our channel. Jen and I, we're both retired military, and we've been camping together for about 25 plus years.
Yep. Started
out in a tent, ended up getting a truck camper, and then another truck camper, and then 5 fifth wheels.
Yeah.
So we are actually on number 8 RV, but this is our first motorhome.
Yes.
But a lot of people have asked us, why didn't we just start out with a motorhome when we started full timing? We started full timing about 3.5 years ago. We're actually going on year 4 already. Whew, we had to take a little break and put on some bug dope because holy cow, the mosquitoes are bad.
I know. And then I sprayed my shirt and now it's all...
It added some extra color.
Yeah, so. Oh well.
All right, back to the video.
Okay.
So the reason we started out full timing with a fifth wheel is because at the time we had a Harley Davidson and I missed my bike. I'll get into that in a second. But we wanted a toy hauler and we were familiar with fifth wheels. We actually already had a toy hauler before we full timed. It was a Raptor, and then we ended up buying a new Momentum when we started our full time journey.
Yeah. We ordered it.
Yeah, we ordered it, picked it up in Indiana, and then we towed the Harley around for the first 3 years of full-time RVing, living in the Momentum, and it was great. However, things started to change for us physically.
Yes. My hips.
Yeah, and my neck. I've got a plate and some screws in my neck. Jennifer hurt her hip really bad. And so riding the motorcycle became not very fun anymore. It was very painful. My arm kept going numb, her hips hurt. So sadly, we decided it was time to sell the motorcycle, move on from that.
Not only that, but we were traveling all the time. So we didn't have a lot of people to ride with because a lot of people we met on the road didn't have a motorcycle. So it pretty much, we were dragging around to ride it maybe 2 or 3 times a year. Yeah,
and then be in pain, unfortunately. Exactly. Anyway, moving right along, we ended up getting rid of the motorcycle, so the need for a toy hauler was no longer. We didn't need one, so the wheels started turning about, hey, maybe we could switch to a motorhome. And this was about a year ago we really started discussing it. But at that time, financially, we just weren't ready to purchase an expensive motorhome because they are a lot more expensive than fifth wheels. And
so then we were looking at maybe getting a different type of fifth wheel, like not a toy hauler one, but just a non-toy hauler one, like the Solitude or all the Montanas, Riverstones, all that. So we kind of started to go down that road.
But then one day, we're talking about our VA ratings in one of our videos, our VA disability ratings. Yep. And one of our subscribers reached out, Billy. Hi, Billy. Hi. And told us that she was there to help us try to get our ratings raised up. Okay. And she was retired military as well. And so we worked with her for the next probably 5 or 6 months to get our ratings raised, and we both got them raised very, very good, and I got a pretty good raise financially from that. So that really changed things for us. And thanks, Billy, by the way.
Yeah.
She's pretty awesome. And we're actually going to finally meet her and her husband in January at the United Rally.
Yes.
We're looking forward to that. So now that we got this financial raise, Jennifer really started doing some more research.
I did. I started researching Class A's from, we didn't know anything about them.
Not really.
So, you know, the difference between gas and diesel, obviously we definitely wanted diesel. And so I kind of just started and I looked at all different ones, you know, Thor, Tiffin's.
Yeah, Newmars.
I mean, you name it.
Winnebago.
I looked at it, Winnebago, yeah. And then I kept going back to the Discoveries and I really, really liked them. But we were getting ready to go to the Hershey RV show. And so I said, let's just wait and so we can actually physically go in and look at them because, you know, watching it on a video or looking at them online is completely different than actually walking in and seeing the space and touching it, smelling it, feeling it, you know, all those things. So we went to the Hershey RV show.
And boom, that's where we got our Discovery.
Yeah.
And it's been a month already.
It was the first Class A we looked at, but we looked at all of them that were there, pros and cons, and we had our friends with us, and they, Angela and Sean from RV Your Way, they knew what we were looking for in the RV, you know, because we had been talking to them about it, so they knew what we were looking for, what we wanted, and even they, like, we all just kept coming back to that Discovery.
Yeah, 3 times.
And there was 2 models, you know, so we just kept going back and forth, but ultimately we liked the model that we bought, actually.
Which is the 40M.
The 40M.
So the Hershey RV show's over. The following week, we go pick up our new RV. If you want to watch how that process went, I'll put a link up in the top here for you to go check out that video.
That was a very stressful time.
Yeah, it was. Now that we've been in this RV for a month, let's talk about what we expected and what we've got, both on the positive side and the negative side. So, do you want to start?
All right, so I guess I'll start with, in the Momentum, I had a huge, for me says far, had a huge food pantry. Now in the motorhome, not so much. I mean, it looks like there's a lot of space in there, but you know, when you go grocery shopping, you got boxes of cereal or tall bottles of, you know, whatever, smaller cabinets. So that is something that took some time getting used to. Still getting used to.
Yeah.
I've changed it up a few times already.
Yeah. Every time I go to look for something, I can't find it because she's moved it.
So I'm sure it's going to be a work in progress for a while.
We're utilizing other cabinet space in like our living area as the food pantry. So
I mean,
that's a little bit different.
And the fridge is bigger.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
And it's a residential fridge.
Residential, so like everything's staying colder.
Yeah.
Ice cream is staying
frozen.
Yeah.
Weird.
Like before, if we went and stocked up on like meat or something, we put it in the freezer. I noticed like a couple days later, it still wasn't completely frozen. You know? So now I put stuff in there and it's like frozen the next day. So it's amazing.
So the main thing that I was expecting and what was very different and probably a negative is the amount of storage between the Class A and our Momentum. Because when we're walking through the Class A, you know, you see all this underneath storage, these huge slide out trays, and you got, you know, all the cabinets inside. So we're thinking, man, we're gonna have extra storage and then some. Well, that wasn't the case. We had to get rid of a lot of stuff because before we had the truck, which was full of stuff. We had the Momentum, which was full of stuff, including the garage, our loft, and then all the storage inside the Momentum and the basement storage underneath the bed, which we do not have in the Class A. As we were moving, we quickly discovered we don't have enough room for all of our stuff, so we got to get rid of some stuff. So we did. We got rid of a lot of stuff. But we made it work, and we did a lot more organizing. And if you want to see that video, I'll put a link up top because we did a full tour our home video, and we go over some of the things that we used for organization. And it's inside and out.
Yeah, and that helped a lot. All the totes and baskets and just everything you could find, and that did help and alleviate some stuff, but
it was a wake-up call. We really thought we were going to have more space, and it just didn't happen.
And I still complain all the time that the Jeep is never empty. It still has stuff in it.
We still have stuff in the Jeep, yeah.
So one of my biggest complaints plus in the fifth wheel was I didn't have a lot of counter space. I mean, I had like a little island, you know, in the center, which was the sink primarily, and then like a little bit space on the side of it, but then I had my paper towels, you know, you have your utensils. I didn't have a lot of space around the stove, and so that was one of the things. I was like, if we're gonna get something else, I want more kitchen space. And then in that, I have the Class A. I got lots of counter space.
Yeah. You even got some expandable counter space.
I do. And the other thing, that was another thing, is like we had the air fryer, we had the ice maker, we had
the Berkey.
The Berkey.
Everything sitting on top of the counters because we didn't have any other place to put it.
Right, and so that took up space. So when we got to the Class A, I was like, oh, it's got an onboard ice maker. It's got a water filter system already. It had
the air fryer,
the convection oven, like air fryer, grill, all that. So we were able to get rid of a few items.
Yeah, which we need to anyway. It goes back to our whole storage issue.
Okay, so one of the things that we expected was it would be easier to go in and out of the RV. You know, just one door, you only got to worry about one screen, whatever. Well, we got 3 dogs.
Yeah.
And every place we've been since we've had the RV has been sandy, dirt, mud, water, and you're going in one door.
Yeah.
And it all tracks in.
Right. We do miss our garage for that reason.
Right.
As it contained a lot of the dirt, and it contained Axel's hair.
That was his primary
yellow
space.
locks of love that are everywhere because that's his primary space, which we no longer have. So now his hair goes everywhere. I vacuum like 3 times a day in the Class A. So.
The floor is white with, you know, some black and gray in it, so you don't see it.
Yeah.
But we got the new vacuum cleaner. It's got a light on it, and the minute that light shines, it's like, it's like a
just
fur blanket.
Hair everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But he's our baby boy, so.
Right.
There was one thing that we weren't even expecting, and honestly didn't even know that we had until we moved into the RV, really started figuring it out, and we have heated floors.
Oh.
We had no idea that we had heated floors. That's
No.
so cool, because, you know, it's just chaotic when you're looking at all the RVs and you can't remember like which model had what feature, and because you're looking at just so many of them. And so that was a pleasant surprise to discover that we had heated floors.
Yeah.
And the other thing that we weren't expecting that we got was you can access our Firefly control center, which is the control center you use to turn on lights and ACs and everything in the RV. You can access that remotely without any additional cost.
Yeah, with the app on your phone.
With the app on your phone.
And it works.
And it actually works. It's very responsive. Our old Lippert 1 control system we had in our Momentum gave you the ability to access it remotely as well. However, you had to pay for that service. So that's pretty awesome that Fleetwood does that. It's no extra charge. I've tried it out. I can access it from 20 miles away if I want to. So that's pretty nice.
Another thing, kind of an unexpected thing, it was never a priority, I've said it before, was the dishwasher.
Yeah.
You know, I know a lot of people are like, oh, you lose storage and all that, but I love that thing.
We can actually store our dirty dishes in there.
Yeah. Actually, when we were moving into the RV, I stored a lot of stuff in there that I didn't know where to put it. I just started to shove it in the dishwasher. Another thing that when we were looking at different RVs and the Class A's, was I wanted definitely to have a bath and a half. Just to more space. This one is amazing. Has a bath and a half, but the main bathroom is huge.
Right?
2 sinks, a real shower.
She won't let me go to the bathroom in her bathroom.
No.
She kicked me out. I'm only allowed to shower in there, and then I only get like 5 minutes, and then I have to exit.
Yes, pretty much.
And then I have to like sign a little log that says I exited.
He signs a non-disclosure agreement too.
So another thing that we, I guess we knew about it when we bought the RV, but we really didn't know what to expect, was the fact that our new Class A has no propane on it at all.
Yeah.
Not a single propane bottle. Everything is either run off electric or diesel fuel. And we've got the Aqua Hot water heater system, and there is a positive and a negative to the Aqua Hot that we did not know, and we discovered after we had the RV and lived in it for a little bit. And that is, when you only have it on electric, it only heats up like 5 gallons of water.
Of hot water.
Of hot water. Yeah. And so if you take a shower and it's only on electric, you're gonna run out pretty quick.
Learn that the hard way.
We're in our Momentum, you could leave it on electric and it was a 12-gallon water heater, and you pretty much didn't run out of hot water unless your name is Jennifer and you take 40-minute hot showers.
I do not take 40-minute hot showers, by the way.
But if you have the Aqua Hot on electric and diesel burner, you do not run out of hot water at all. You can literally take an hour and 40-minute shower and never run out of hot water as long as you got diesel fuel. And it's actually pretty efficient. The book says that if you run that thing for an hour straight, it only burns about 1/3 gallon of diesel. So that's not too bad.
So one of the things that, you know, when you're looking at all these, you know, RVs, is when we're looking at these Class A's, is a lot of them don't have an actual like oven to bake in. And so just have the induction cooktop, which was definitely new to me.
Yeah.
Had no idea.
Yeah, right.
Learned lots about it though.
We actually had to get rid of some nice Pampered Chef pans that did not work with this induction cooktop.
Yeah, they were older ones and they just didn't seem to be compatible. And so, of course, we got some new cookware from Amazon.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, right?
And what are your thoughts on the induction cooktop now that you've used it for a month? Are you cool with it, or do you miss the gas one?
I don't miss the gas, but it's just still getting used to. Like if you accidentally, you know, say like you're boiling some noodles and it accidentally overflows.
That would happen?
That would happen. And then the stovetop gets wet, well the pan slides off, and once that pan is off that sensor for the burner, the oven shuts off.
Right, the stovetop shuts off.
The stovetop.
Automatically, yeah, it's a safety
I mean, I know
feature.
it's a safety feature, which is great, but if you're not paying attention, because maybe you're
which
like,
has happened already once.
You know, like on my phone or in the restroom or switching laundry over, then it turns off and you go back and you're like, darn it. So
it's not cooking.
Yeah, just, you know, learning new things. Same with the convection oven.
But on the other side of that, when you're cleaning it, then you almost always turn it on accident.
No, I always lock it.
You have to lock it out. Otherwise, when you're cleaning it, like you'll turn the burner on.
Yeah,
next thing you know, you're like, woohoo!
Because everything, it's very, very fancy in there. Everything is like push button, you know. So like, you just barely touch it, and next thing you know, I'm like, why is it on? Why is it red? Or I've locked it and had to figure out how to unlock it.
Yeah, we had to figure that one out too, how to unlock it. But we got it figured out.
So another thing that, you know, I always expected I was going to have all this closet space. So much closet space that I wouldn't know what to do with it. Well, that didn't happen. A lot of clothes got donated. Well, a lot of Jason's clothes got donated.
Yeah. So if you see me wearing the same clothes in every video, that's why.
And also because, like in the kitchen, there's 4 chairs. Well, 2 of them fold up and they go in the closet. And so now we each have a chair in our closet, which takes up clothes space. So Jason was nice enough to sacrifice closet space for the chairs.
Well, you did too, though.
Well, I did.
One in each drawer, one in each closet.
But then I took over the dresser. You have any?
I have 1 drawer in the dresser.
And I have the rest.
Yeah.
Well, the bottom drawer is our hiking bags and just like kind of like random stuff we're not quite sure what to do with yet.
All right, so let's talk about learning curves for a second. Probably the biggest learning curve going from a 5th wheel to a Class A is the whole driving process and hooking up the toad. Like, we had no clue how to do that because we had never done it before. I mean, we had an idea, obviously, but until you actually do it, you gotta learn, you know, you have to learn the sequence of events, the process, and that was a little nerve-wracking and took a little bit of getting used to.
I mean, they showed us the day we picked up the RV, but we had already been there like 8 hours.
Yeah.
We're tired, we're hungry, we're cranky.
Right.
They kind of started to get us rushed off the lot because
they were getting ready to close.
They were getting ready to close, you know, so like we're, you know, rushing, you know, and you never want to rush because that's how mistakes get made, but luckily none were made, but just, they showed us how to do the Jeep, and luckily Sean was with us because the next time we had to hook it up, we both looked at each other like, ah.
Do you remember how to do this?
Luckily he was there paying attention and he helped us out, so.
Yeah, so we got that squared away, but it was nerve-wracking driving it for the first time, especially towing the Jeep, because you're like, you know, you got all these thoughts running through your head. Did I leave the emergency brake on? And what if the transfer case slips out of neutral and all of a sudden we're burning up the, you know, the Jeep? And what if we get a flat? So that's another thing that we're gonna have to address. We're gonna have to get a tire pressure monitoring system that we can monitor the Jeep's tire pressure from the RV, because if we get a flat, I have a camera, I can see it, but I don't know if I'll be able to tell if there's a flat or not, and I'm probably not gonna be able to feel it.
Right.
So if you got a Class A or a Class C or whatever, and you have a towed and you've ever experienced a flat, let us know. Let us know if you felt it, if it was obvious, if it wasn't obvious, because I've seen some pictures of some like rims completely friggin' grounded down to like half.
And I can't have Daisy May like that.
Yeah, we don't want to do that, so.
You know, another thing with towing the Jeep, like the first time we actually had a travel day, like we both kept smelling like, I don't know, like, well, I don't want.
Well, it was the new brakes. It was that resin burning off. Hold on, we got some mud here. We got to navigate through here. So let's see. There we go. Okay. So yeah, anyway, it was pretty much the resin burning off the brand new brake pads, and you know, but you get that smell, and of course you instantly start thinking, am I burning up brakes? What's going on? Is it the Jeep? Is it the RV?
Of course, we have to pull over, you know, and then we were traveling with friends who were behind us on the radio, and they're like, we can smell it too. So they're like, all right, let's stop and investigate. And
so the story of the stinky brakes goes a little bit further, because it all happened about the same time the GPS decided to take us past our turn where we were supposed to go to where we were staying at the casino overnight, and so we had to find a place to turn around. And so
oh gosh,
so I'm in the lead and I see this church parking lot, and I was like, that looks like a good spot to turn around. Pull into the church parking lot and go around the church a little bit to get to the back lot where we can actually turn around, and there is a power line that is like, I don't even know, 10 feet low.
Yeah.
So there is no way we're going to be going underneath that. So we actually had to unhook the Jeep, move the Jeep.
Yep.
So I could what were you going to say? So, you got a mosquito. Oh.
On my face. Funny story is I was like, why don't you just back up?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
You can't, I mean, you can back up a Toad a little ways, but you're not going to be maneuvering around stuff backing up. It's just not built for that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so we just unhooked the Toad and, you know, move the Jeep, and then I was able to back out of there. But yeah, that was the first travel day for us on the motorhome.
And I'm spotting him back, you know, with the radio, and you know, our friends had pulled out of the way for us so we could back up, and all of a sudden someone from the church comes out.
Yeah.
And they were like, you know, you can't go forward because someone's already taken the power lines down before, and we're like, that's why we're backing up.
Right, right.
It was like, okay, just wanted to make sure, because he didn't want that to happen again, and we're not going to want to cause damage to somebody else's property, but...
Of course not. Or our own.
Or our own, yeah.
So anyway, we got out of there unscathed, and yeah, it was fun. One of the biggest things that we thought was going to be much easier going from a truck, a fifth wheel, and a Jeep, and a motorcycle to a Class A and the Jeep is travel day and setting up and breaking down. And it definitely is. It's way easier. Yeah. We're not coming in with the train anymore. Setting up is a breeze. Breaking down is a breeze. It takes longer to do the clam than it does anything else. Mm-hmm. And we're really liking that. Travel days are much nicer. I mean, it's a much smoother ride. Oh, yeah. We would just get the crap kicked out of us in the fifth wheel in the truck, especially on bridge transitions. They're terrible, bumpy roads, but it's pretty nice in the Class A. I mean, you still feel them, but it's way smoother.
And if anybody owns a Jeep, you know those things are not meant for comfort. The thing like drives like a brick.
A brick with wheels.
Yeah, and so, you know, I'm following behind them, and it's like constant, you know, same thing. Like, it's bumpy. I mean, yeah, it's made for off-roading, but it's not exactly the most comfortable thing to ride in.
And I was just always constantly worried about leaf springs on that Momentum. Oh. Like, every time we hit a huge bump, I'm like, oh gosh, did we break another leaf spring? Because we broke two. And I'm glad I don't have to worry about that anymore. It just makes for a much less stressful travel day than it did before.
One of the negative things while switching up the way we traveled was before, when I followed behind him in the Jeep, I was able to, you know, maybe block traffic if I had to, because people weren't going to let him get in the left lane.
Right.
Or
choose my eyes.
Like one time we had some wrapper got stuck on the tire, but I couldn't really tell what it was. I just saw, you know, material flapping, so I'm like, I don't know if you have a flat, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it ended up being road debris.
It was road debris, and he had a tire monitoring system on the tire, but he's like, well, what if it came off? What if it's not working right? And then just the other thing is, like at Thousand Trails, you know, a lot of those parks are first come, first serve. Before, you know, we check in, he'd pull over, I could just take the Jeep real quick and go find a spot, where now, we gotta pull over, unhook, and then I can go. Not a huge, you know, pain in the butt, but
we actually have the hooking process with the Jeep down to pretty good now. It takes like maybe 5 minutes. It's pretty quick.
It's just one of those things that, you know, we weren't an extra step, yeah.
Another thing that we expected pretty much and got was the amount of money that we would spend on diesel fuel. Ooh. Because we went from a 48-gallon tank to a 100-gallon tank, but we don't have to worry about filling the Jeep up on travel days anymore either, so that's pretty nice. But yeah, that first pump from empty to full was expensive.
Were we even on empty?
We were close to empty. Yeah, we were very close to empty. So, but good thing for TSD. Now this may sound a little bougie, but one of the things that I really like that we didn't have in the Momentum is the fact that you can bring in both awnings at the same time.
Oh yeah.
With the Momentum, we would have to do one awning at a time, and we had 4 awnings. So if like winds started to kick up and we needed to bring those awnings in real quick, it was like a 10-minute process to bring them in. Whereas with the Fleetwood, all we have to do is hit the button, and you don't even have to hold the button. You just hit it once and it'll bring it in. And then they come in automatically if the wind picks up too much. As a matter of fact, where we're at right now, we've got a lot of acorns falling off the trees around our RV. The squirrels go up there at night and they start knocking down these acorns, and they hit the sensors on our awnings, and all of a sudden they start retracting in on their own. We're like, what the heck's going on? So yeah, so we know they work.
One thing that we were expecting when we got the new RV is that the bed was going to be like super uncomfortable, because most people who buy RV, you know, new RV, you know, those beds are like
garbage.
This one actually,
not bad.
Not bad at all.
And then we even made it better.
Yes.
By getting a topper for it at Walmart. For like
cooling topper.
$100. And now it's like super comfortable.
It is. And you know, Jason always never thought we needed a king size bed, but I love the king size bed.
Yeah, it is pretty nice now that we have one again. That was the reason why we didn't take the mattress out of the Momentum and move it, because that was a queen and now we have a king. So, but yeah, it's working out pretty good so far.
Yes.
All right, so we discussed, you know, some of the positives, some of the negatives, some of what we expected and what we got. And through all that, at the end of the day, do we have buyer's remorse on purchasing this beautiful Fleetwood Discovery? Do you have buyer's remorse?
Oh, no, not at all.
Not yet. Not at all. We love it, and we're glad that we were able to do this. This is pretty awesome. We're pretty happy.
Definitely. Very happy.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this week's video, guys. Don't forget to check out our merch store. I'm going to put a link in the description of the video. And with the hurricanes that have decimated Florida, North Carolina, Tennessee, we have decided that we are going to donate any profits we make off our merch store and our Amazon store between now and the end of the year. So until January 1st, 2025. So if you were thinking about buying something from our merch store or Amazon store, now would be the great time to do that. And then any profit that we make, we're gonna go ahead and donate that. Not sure who we're gonna donate to yet. Once it gets to January, we'll decide on who needs it the most. Also, if you're gonna be out west this winter, make sure you come to the United Rally. We're gonna be in Tucson January 14th through the 17th with a whole bunch of other content creators, and we want you to join us. It's gonna be a blast. Right after that, we'll be going to the Courtside RV Show. We'll be be boondocking at probably La Posa South area with the other RV content creators. So we would love to have you come say hi to us then for sure. And after that, we're finally starting to get some plans going for Alaska 2026.
Yes.
So if you want to do a caravan up to Alaska, we're shooting for summer 2026. I know we've been talking about it for like 2 or 3 years, but we're actually going to make it happen 2026. That gives everybody plenty of time to prepare. So let us know down in the comments if you're interested in doing a caravan up to Alaska summer 2026. And until next week, guys, safe travels.
Bye.